So yeah, basically, they've
Got
introduced
Mr. Arvids.
a bill aimed at reforming New Zealand's alcohol laws, saying the changes will reduce regulatory burdens, aka red tape, on
Oh, yay.
businesses and make the licensing system easier to navigate. Regulation Minister David Seymour and Associate Justice Minister Nicole McKee and announced the introduce of the sale and supply of alcohol, parentheses, improving alcohol regulation amendment bill on Monday. The range of changes include limiting who can object to a license application or renewal to those who live or work in the same council area or within a kilometre of the proposed premises. License applicants would also be given a formal right of reply to objections.
Well,
I know this is
already kind of a part of the process anyway, but I mean, like that matters sometimes. Like it's still just one of those, approval process. It's just a what am I thinking of? Oh god, I should have gone more sleep. Select committee,
Yes.
basically, where they just they can just ignore the advice if they want. So
I mean, when don't they? It's
when there's money involved.
Preventing license renewals from being declined solely because a local alcohol policy has changed. I thought that one was weird. It kind of sus, like that's kind of suspicious to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like something must have happened for this to...
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, for example, Auckland, I think it was last year, changed their alcohol closing dates from 10 till 9 for local alcohol purchases. Maybe that's kind of like what they're going with, but I don't know how that would revoke people's license. So I don't know. That is a weird one.
Yeah.
Again, it's weird. It's counter narrative to what they say. Less local control on policies, so it's fuck knows.
Yeah. Allowing clubs to apply for on license if they wish to serve the wider public, allowing certain restaurants with on-site retail areas to sell alcohol for customers to take home, which, I mean, there do seem to be a lot more like brewery alcohol based restaurants. At least that I've seen, but I don't know.
That's getting a bit more sus, though.
Yeah.
That's really getting... So that this is getting to that weird, like, there could be a lot of loopholes type shit in this law. So I didn't bring it up, but at the start of the year, there was a story with, I think it was Nicole McKee. It might have been... Oh, actually, no. Who's the smoke one?
Oh, Costello?
Oh, it was Costello, yeah. About the vape stores inside the stores.
Oh my god!
Because now they got the new rule where it needs to be a separate. Yeah, how that's like the whole workaround. So.
Oh my god! I'm assuming you have the same thing where there's just like dairies who have just kind of weirdly boarded off this corner and they just it's so weird. It's so bad.
And the dairy owner disappears because you're like, where the fuck is he?
It changes nothing. It literally changes nothing except the guy might have to go, hold on, and come out from behind the counter to walk into the little tiny cube.
Exactly. Yeah, this is giving me that kind of vibe. This is...
Well, yeah, and I'm always a little bit weary in terms of when it comes to kind of increasing the availability of alcohol in general. In ways to attain it, because
let's put it this way: it's not hard to get alcohol. It's not.
It really isn't, and I do think that it's kind of, I don't know, I kind of cringe when people complain about like, oh my god, 1 whole hour that I might not be able to like make an impulse decision to fucking drink excessive amounts of alcohol. Oh no. Because that's the other part of it. I feel like New Zealand has such a bad, like, we already know we have a problem with drinking, but we also have a problem with impulsive decisions, last minute going, we're having a good vibe, let's go grab some drinks.
I'll be the first to cop to that. That's 100% me. Impulse control. Oh my goodness.
Mean, undiagnosed neurodivergence does not help us either. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, in general, I'm always real sus when it comes to that. I do think there are, understandable things, like I said, with some of the like brewery based, especially here in Wellington, we have so many. In fact, actually, Craig Rennie and Kieran McAnulty were at one of them just the other day in Berempore. I wish I had have known. I would have tried to go and see Kieran. But yeah, streamlining special license requirements to make it easier to host events. Again,
I mean, I'm somewhat in favor, but again, like, yeah, I haven't heard that much of a fucking issue about, like, is this really an issue? I don't know.
Yeah. Creating a permanent mechanism allowing licensed premises to open and serve alcohol outside licensed hours, to televise major events such as the Rugby World Cup. I mean, again,
I guess they're right citing rugby specifically, but I suppose it's supposed to be more general than that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how liberal they want to be with the major events. Like, are we going to make it every single fucking sports game counts, or
exactly? Yeah,
is it
like
just
it's playing towards big corporations that manage these events, really. So I don't know. It seems a bit disproportionate, perhaps. But
yeah, not
a lot
sure.
of this is all on specifics. That's the issue with these fucking announcements. They're always so
right.
vague.
There's obviously the stupid hairdressing one, which we've heard about for a while, so that people can serve beer, wine, or gin and tonic, which actually I don't drink beer or wine, so it is kind of nice to see a non-beer wine option in general.
True.
But
and I love my G&Ts, but I
still not sure about the hairdressing part.
Yeah, but
it seems so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, can you really not go a whole hairdressing session?
It's such a fucking niche problem. It's like, why are we dedicating time to this?
Exactly. Like, it's a very bourgeois problem.
It's the kind of shit your mum complains about with her fucking rich friends. You know? Like...
Yes. Extending cellar door tasting provisions beyond wineries, so other producers such as breweries and distilleries can charge for tastings without needing an on license. Again, that one I can understand a lot more, since we do just have a diverse range of those kind of local breweries popping up. Like, I mean, I see so many of them at every fair.
That's another thing that's like, again, it's sort of weird. Like, because I love that we got a booming craft beer industry culture kind of thing, but again, it's also, in other aspects, it's somewhat problematic, and we should at least... Like, we should simultaneously somehow embrace it, but also be like, hey, let's not go fucking all in on this. It's yeah. Because I love beer. I love craft beer. So, that kind of stuff excites me. But, again, I don't want, like, us to just go fucking full throttle on allowing fucking breweries to open and deregulating. We got to look out for the least of us,
absolutely.
The people... Yeah, sorry, you carry on.
No, you go.
No. I was going to trail off. Like I said, I didn't get enough sleep. Again.
Well, I mean, yeah, my thing is just that, like, we have to acknowledge that we do have a bit of a problem with this kind of relationship with alcohol. Like, I do see this comment here saying, there are countries you can buy, alcohol from a vending machine, but you don't have the same drinking culture in those countries. You don't have
Japan.
the same issues. Yeah, like, exactly. There's heaps of places, but it's the culture. It's the way that we see and approach alcohol. Like, we've always been a very pro-alcohol country who have dealt with horrible... like, I actually, I did pull some stats up for us as well.
Japan does have a slightly weird, like... it's like problematic in a different way. It's like everyone, it's social. Everyone goes to sake bars.
Yeah,
like the beer's not the issue.
And it's a part of the working
sake
hierarchy.
Yeah, and you go there and you get sloshed after work and go home, and who knows.
And you're not allowed to say no to, like, certain things, because then you'll not get
But you're right.
put
There's
on certain
nuance in the
projects.
issue.
Yeah.
It's quite different. It's not like,
What drives their alcoholism is very different than to what drives ours.
And a lot of us goes back, for 50 years when they were closing the bars, like for 1 hour between like 5 and 6, and everyone. That's how binge drinking basically really shot through the roof. Happy hour.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, happy hour is still one of those things that keeps it thriving. I mean, hell, I've been victim to getting a bit merry.
Actually, that's a good example of how restrictions can backfire. So that is a good example about how it's not necessarily a bad thing to deregulate or de-restrict, but you really need to put thought into these things and make sure you're consulting the right people.
And I mean, even just the way that we educate, and I think even just talk about alcohol as a country, we'd have to have a lot of really hard conversations about, hey, maybe let's stop. We did used to have some hardcore ads, like that horrific one back in the day when it's like the dude swinging the kid around and like fucking smashes him into the wall. Because that is a genuine reality to consider, that, people do dumb shit when they drink alcohol, unfortunately.
If anyone can find a high quality version of that ad for me, because I can find a potato can one, that's it. I want to make a gif of the lady going, "Get out!"
Yes, no, classic. But that's the thing is, and I saw here, bringing back our drinking problem. Like, we used to acknowledge like alcohol problems in a very different way, which I kind of realized that I didn't notice how we kind of have really kind of come away from that, especially like I'd say in the last 10 years. More so, that we've kind of just gotten less
I think that's partly in the reports from Gen Z drinking less.
Yes.
I would say it's partly because of that.
Yes.
Who knows 100% why? Maybe more access to alternatives, that kind of thing. But
again, I also think that's kind of like they have been educated in a different way. They've also watched a lot of problems that alcohol has caused. They've also grown up in an economy that's just getting so much more inaccessible to them. Like, I noticed, I live around all the uni halls. It still blows my mind that I will see the young uni students with a 6-pack for the night, and I'm like, you'd get laughed at when I was a fucking teenager if you only turned up with a 6-pack.
I remember showing up to like house parties or town. People were already sloshed. I remember I saw my friend Matt walking with a Cody's Trident.
Not the can wands.
Yes, the canned wand. He made a trident out of the Cody's cans, and I was like, well, yeah, that's a typical fucking
It's either that or the
Saturday
40 hands,
I did
with the
that
old
a couple of
sideys.
times. Yeah.
And that's, again, the problem is that we have this fucking culture that unfortunately has kind of, it's a bit of a culture of self-medicating. Also, a lot of us who maybe struggle socially, like the alcohol to kind of bring down that barrier.
No, I'm glad. No. I think that applies to more even just in like neurodivergent people. I think that's sort of a thing that's partly maybe come up with desocialization, interaction, internet culture, that kind of thing. People are more desperate to interact, and you need sort of those kinds of events. And when you're young, it can often be tough for those things to come, across.
And actually that makes me also kind of think about the fact that we've got the whole tall poppy syndrome issue too. What's one way to actually be able to kind of, break through that barrier so you can, I don't know, have a real meaningful emotional conversation with your friends or family, which I know a lot of people only have those conversations when they're drunk. Which means my family doesn't really drink. So guess what? We don't really have those conversations.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It allows you to communicate, break down barriers, those kinds of things we don't really teach people to do. Especially in like school and their social groups, you don't really give them an avenue for that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I really am realizing the older I get and the more we're seeing is like, we just don't teach people how to fucking become humans, just in general.
Oh no, well, that's because we don't for a purpose. You're a cog in the machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's
work,
just...
get your mortgage, pay it off, maybe retire and die. Yeah.
And actually, I mean, I'll just click
This was
to this
supposed to be the
tab.
happy episode.
Hey, we're getting it out of the way. I did find it interesting though. I was looking into some data. Turns out the highest groups for drinking are 55 to 64 and 18 to 24.
Oh.
So, I found that quite interesting. I'm wondering if maybe that older one is also kind of, again, generationally, it's a socialized kind of just norm.
I think.
And they're also got more money.
No, I know it. I know what it is.
What
See,
is
that's the time that you should probably be retiring, but you realize you got another 5 to 10 years worth of working before you retire. So you're like, fuck this.
I
Start
mean,
drinking.
yeah.
Figure it out.
And obviously we have hazardous drinking has remained about the same since 23, 24. With men being obviously twice as likely to drink hazardously. And so, yeah,
I
I
didn't
think...
expect any improvement in that in the last 2 years with a freaking alcohol lobbyist, so no.
Well, yeah. And I also, the one other stat that I found was NZIER's 2024 analysis, which estimated the cost of alcohol-related harm in New Zealand as approximately 9.1 billion with the B. Which that actually incorporates health and ACC expenses, lost productivity, justice system impacts, and increased demand on social services. So, I mean, I'm never a fan when alcohol laws basically that are trying to make it easier to and more accessible.
Yep.
Not a big fan.
Overall, I'm concerned.
Yeah. So, definitely not a fun story, but
I'm glad David and his rich mates can have a good cocktail night now.
Oh, so. Yeah, actually, I wasn't going to play the video, but I'll see if they've got the end part. Nah, he tries to be a funny cunt at the end.
Yeah, no,
like,
fuck
he thinks he's real funny.
Pandemic plan, it was not followed. And relatively recently, more extreme steps towards less every morning.
Oh, no, they cut it out. He makes jokes at the end saying that, like, the bar staff have prepared pizza and stuff because they value the journalists and all this. It was just this cringe, like, weird segue out of the announcement. It was cringe, but I did not enjoy having to listen to him a lot today, so I'm glad we got that out of the way and we can move on.
Yeah.